Well, guys, finally, Nella Rose has spoken out about her time in the jungle, and specifically, we're interested in here, that spat she had with Fred.
I haven't been able to watch anything back yet, but I know everything that's gone on. I know everything that's happened, and honestly, it was a big fat misunderstanding, and we've gone over it. Me and Fred are cool. Everything is blessed. I don't know why everybody's still crying about it, but I understand. It's TV. It's life.
It's a moment.
But also, I think it's probably the situation and the scenario that you're in as well, isn't it? You know, you're in a confined space, really,
so
with a lot of people you don't know, and little things can trigger you.
Pardon?
You're in a confined space with lots of people you don't know, and little things can trigger you.
Yeah. Yeah, so like obviously that subject is very triggering for me because it's kind of like a fresh wound. But obviously being inside of the jungle, all events are intensified. And
yeah.
It is what it is.
As you can see there, she says it was all a big misunderstanding and that they sorted it out. Which of course begs the question, why were we not shown this? This is the thing, right, about these shows, is that you are relying on the editors to give you an honest edit of what's going on. And we all know there's a massive problem there, because often they don't. They leave narratives completely open-ended and assume or hope that us as the viewers will make up an ending. And often, as was the case with Nella, Rose and Fred, it's not an ending that is particularly positive. So we just assumed the beef had carried on, that maybe nothing had been said, and they just kind of semi-quashed it by not really saying much, just pressing on with their time in the jungle. But she admits there, they quashed it, they got on, and I wish we were just shown that. It wouldn't have taken much just to show that. Now, Nella was asked by Rylan, would she have changed anything she did in the jungle, and this was her response.
No, looking back, is there anything you would change? Would you act any differently when it came down to anything in there? Or is it, no, this is what I did, and I had the best time?
I don't think... No, I don't think there's anything that I would change because honestly, with me, what you see is what you get, and I'll always stay true to myself. I'm just Nella at the end of the day. I'm like Marmite. So either you love me or you hate me.
Well, Nella, you're a memorable campmate. It's been lovely chatting to you. Thank you, babe.
Thank you, Nella.
I am actually surprised by her response, because I think now, going into these shows, reality shows, I do think that if you are a person of colour, or if you're from a different cultural background, as I am, for example, with a strange name, as I've often been told, then I think you have to treat these shows like being filmed on your best behaviour 24/7. And you cannot afford to slip up in any fashion or way, because you know that the social media crowd will judge you and judge you unfairly and wrongly, regardless of, you know, what you meant or what the intention was. So I do think that if you're going to go into these shows, young people, then I do think you need to make sure, if you're not one of the crowd, for lack of a better term, you have to treat it like being on best behaviour all the time, never slip up once, and you might just get through it positively. Now, they also managed to get Fred on the same interview and asked him about the Nella Rose crash. Did I say crash? I meant clash. I'm tired.
Look, for me, it's just a misunderstanding. You know, you're in the jungle. It's like a pressure cooker. You know, and it's just the way it is. But all I will say is that I was very surprised of the hate for Nella when I came out. I think it's totally wrong. It's unfair, and you know, not in my name. So you know, today I did a couple of interviews with journalists, and I said this is not fair, and that's all I will say on that topic. You know,
Yeah.
Nella is a lovely girl, and you know, things happen. You move on, and you know, I mean, I don't know what is all this fuss about, to be honest with you.
Well, I think that's a very gentlemanly thing to say, Fred. Absolutely. He's a gent. He is a gent.
Again, we have Fred there reinforcing the fact that they made up, and also quite rightly saying, I don't understand why she's getting all this hate. Good for him. Well said. Because I am also very concerned about the amount of hate she's getting. Even now, she's left the jungle. I see every time she's mentioned on social media, there's always got to be someone coming up with, oh yeah, this and that about her, and saying nasty things about her. She's out of the jungle, guys. Leave her alone. Leave her alone. For God's sake, it's a reality show. It's not real life. It's a reality TV show. Let her live her life. She doesn't need constant criticism. You know, and now we all know that the show was edited in a certain way. We have to give her the benefit of the doubt. Even though, yes, we can all agree that, yes, her behaviour was perhaps erratic and we didn't understand it. And that's fine. We're not going to understand the way everyone behaves. We're not going to understand the reasons why people do things all the time. But we should give her leeway. We should give her at least some... I'm not going to ramble on, because I know I could ramble on forever about this. And regardless of what I'll say, I'll still get nasty comments. Never mind, eh? Never mind. At least they cleared it up. At least we finally got an interview where they could both discuss it. And we know that it was quashed and we were never shown that. Thanks very much, ITV. And who knows what else they're not showing us.